Hey everybody, welcome back to Everyday Journey. Today we're going to do a quick review on these gutter guards by Atlas. They may actually have different names because I see on the box even that it does say gutter glove, and I've seen other people do reviews on a gutter guard from Gutter Glove as well. So I don't know exactly why they're doing that or how they're doing that, but just so you know. Um, I'll tell you, these things seem pretty good. I haven't been able to test them out in the rain yet. I have been able to just spray them while they're up there just to see how they do. But, seems to work just fine. The biggest thing though is it works good for just letting everything just roll right off the roof rather than get caught right on or get caught in the gutters. Because if you see from this picture right here, my gutters are completely full. And they get that way several times a year. This is oak trees that are right there. And if it's not dropping acorns or sticks or leaves, it's dropping those other little things that they have in the spring. And it's just, like I said, 3 or 4 times and I'm done with it. But I bought some other gutter guards from my previous house, and they were the plastic version that had like a screen type material kind of welded to the top of it. And those seemed to work good, except for the holes in them were really too big, and it kind of let some of the finer material still down into your gutter. And while it didn't clog anything up, it did fill up in there. You could see later on whenever I had to get in there to do something, it did fill up some. So I didn't really care for that. And then the other thing is right where they meet, because these are pieces and they go right next to each other, right where they meet on the other ones, they seem to, over the years, just kind of warp, and it would basically just leave big gaps so that stuff could fall through there. Again, didn't want to deal with that. So even though these were a bit pricier, I think currently or at least what I bought them for, is about $85 per box. I believe there's 11 of them in there, and it says it's 33 linear foot. So I needed 5 boxes, or a little under 5 boxes, and so that got kind of pricey. But I believe that they will work a lot better than the other ones. They're made out of stainless steel, aluminum on the front and back, and I don't see why these should ever. I mean, they're stainless steel. I don't think it should ever rust. The aluminum, again, not ever going to rust unless there's an issue between the two metals, where they cause a reaction between each other. These should last quite a long time. I know they do have a 25-year warranty on the box. Haven't looked into how you get that warranty or what, but that's what it says. So as long as you keep your receipt, I'd say you're probably good. As far as installation goes on these, you just slide them up underneath your shingles. In some cases, and I didn't do it, but in some cases, you may have to actually bend this up or down because there's not enough. You can't get it under your shingles without deforming things and making it to where it won't work right. But you bend it up or down and then screw it into your fascia board. Is the other way. I didn't do that. I actually just slid it up underneath my shingles and then put it on, rested it right on the front edge of the gutters. And then 2 ways you could secure it at that point is just peel and stick this red tape. You just pull it off and stick it down. Of course, you got to clean the gutter first, or do like I did, just take the screws that are provided and screw it down. And the reason why I chose to do that is because if I ever need to get back in there, I don't want to have to sit there and try to pry this out and then try to find the screws that came with it, which I don't have because it's 10 years down the road. And so I figured just go ahead and screw it down, and then later on I could unscrew it and pull it up. It's only 3 screws or so, and then you could do whatever you need to do, screw it back down. So that's the way I installed it. They went pretty well. I did have a few complaints, and I'll get to that in a second, but let me tell you what's in the box. What's in the box is you open it up and you get your installation instructions. And I had 5 of these, so it actually came with two different kinds. This one looks this is probably a newer version, but it came with 2 different kinds, but they basically had the same information in it. So just depends on which one you bought as to which instructions you got. And then it came with one of these, which is just a 1/4-inch nut driver, or 1/4-inch driver. You can put in your drill, and it's got a magnet on it so that you're not dropping your screws everywhere. And And this was great. I mean, I had no problems with this whatsoever, but I'll get to the problem that I had in a minute. And then it comes with your screws, of course, and then it comes with 11 of these. So that's really all it comes with, and that's all you really need. So to install it, the other things that you might need are a pair of pliers, some gloves, and some snips so that you can cut these wherever you need to cut them. And that starts to get to where my problems came in. If you see, the instructions basically say that whenever you put these two together, let's see if I can get you a little closer on this. Yeah, there we go. All right, so first problem I had, and you'd think for the price that you pay for these, this wouldn't be the case. They'd figure out a way to package them better. But if you can see that, this thing is mangled on the ends. Now granted, it's just something you can bend back, but I end up having to do this to every single one of them. These are the extra ones that I had after getting done with the installation, but I had to do this to every single one of them. They seem to be better on one end than the other. And you see this is the other end. It seems perfectly fine. But the problem that I see with this is that, I mean, I don't know if it was done during shipment. I know on the shelves, it's actually in the shelf flat like this. So I can't see how that could be an issue. But it just seems like whoever was unloading or loading or whatever, they just grabbed the entire box and let it drop on the end, and therefore causing it to bend that one side. So that's the one issue. Once you bend it back, it's okay. Most of them bend back fairly well, but every now and then, if you're not wearing gloves like I was, you actually get sometimes you get the stainless steel mesh kind of will get stuck in your finger a little bit. And of course that doesn't feel good. The other issue I had, and let's see if I can show this, is where they go together. They tell you to just overlap them like this, and I guess that'd be all right, but I just didn't really like that. So what I chose to do instead is go ahead and make it to where they butt all the way up against each other like this, but you can't really do that unless you take this small little bit. Let's see if I can get it into the, right there. That small little bit, cut it right off, right even with the edge of this, and then fold it under. And what that does is allows it to where if you do it on both sides, then when you overlap, they're not hitting up against each other. So that's what I ended up doing. Now, whether you should do that or not, I don't know, but I just like the looks of it better like that. The other problem I had with these is that every now and then you have to actually cut these to where you need to. You're cutting here and here, let's say, to shorten it, and snips don't really cut through. They may cut through this first little thin part, but whenever it gets to the part that's actually crimping down on this this mesh, it doesn't like to cut through that very well at all. So you may have to take a hacksaw or something. I didn't really care for that any, especially when it comes to this other side. You can see it's kind of a T slot in it, or T shaped in a way, and that's so that it can rest up against the inside ledge of your gutter. And the trying to cut through all that is kind of crazy, but I mean, it's kind of what you have to deal with. But once you get through that, one of the things you may have to do is actually, especially on the ends, is you may have to cut this part, the aluminum, short, and then cut the mesh a little bit longer, and then but remove the aluminum for the whole thing. And the reason why is because you may have to bend on the ends. You may have to bend this mesh down so that it completely, well, better seals off the end of your gutter. That way leaves are not blowing in from the edge. So when you do that though, you're trying to pull this aluminum off of the mesh. Well, while doing that, sometimes I actually found that the part that you wanted it to stay onto, it would come off of that as well. It's like the crimping, and it seemed to mostly be on the side that had the T section, because I had several pieces do it, and so I ended up having to fit it back over the mesh and then crimp it down on the ends. And I even took a punch at some point and actually tried to drive it down and make sure that it was crimping well onto this mesh. And I think it's just their manufacturing, because like I said, I had it in a couple of different pieces that way. Other than that, though, it seemed like it went in pretty well. You can see the pictures of what it looked like after I got done, and it looked a lot better. And hopefully I got it. I took a couple of videos and tried to get it to where you could see where the leaves would just blow down, and it blow right over this and right down off the roof. That's really, really what you want. There is a small little lip on here that some of the stuff may catch on here, but as long as it doesn't go down in here, all you could do is go and get you a brush, get you a broom, whatever, and get up there and just sweep it off maybe once or twice a year. And you may not even have to get on top of the roof to do it. You may be able to just reach up there with the extension pole with that little brush on it, and then just go down and brush it off that way. As long as your roof wasn't too high, I think that would work pretty well. So the very last issue that I had, and this is kind of silly, but it still is an issue, that every single one of these boxes, they come with one of these little drivers. That's fine. You know, that way nobody has to actually go buy anything, except for the fact that, you know, normally you're not going to be installing just one box of these. And so that means unless you've got multiple drills that you need to attach these to, you've got several of these whenever you're done. I actually had one of the boxes had two of them in it instead of just one, which is better than being short, I guess. But now at the end of the build, or end of the project, I now have 6 of these drivers. I don't know what I'm going to do with 6 of these. I guess I can try to sell them, get some of my money back or something. Not really sure. Overall, though, I think that these are a great buy. I just didn't really care too much for the price. And I don't know. It's kind of like a lot of other things, especially whenever it comes to quality. Sometimes you say you buy once and cry once. And yeah, they're expensive, but in the end, hopefully, I'll never have to worry about it again, at least not for 25 years. And if I do, then I'm going to be at a point where I just pay somebody to get on my roof and do it, because I'm going to be too old to do that myself. Hopefully. If I'm up there, then we got problems. So anybody have any questions, comments, concerns, or anything like that, definitely put them down in the description or down in the comments there. I like to read them, like to find out what people think, and I'll try my best to answer anything I can. I do read them all, and I do answer anytime I feel that I need to. And so if you got a question, put it down there, and I'll try my best to answer it. So if you'd like to see videos like this in the future, just hit that thumbs up, the like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And until next time, y'all take care.